So next we have another CECP data conversation for all of you. This is CECP Insights, and we're going to focus this time on employee engagement. I'd like to welcome to the stage one of our staff, Terez Henderson, who is going to go through and talk a bit about some of it. And this is about employee engagement, but I do have one item to note, which is that it was mentioned in the very first session of the day that corporate giving is down 50%. And I think you all know, because of your participation in giving in numbers, that that's not what we report. And the session yesterday where Sarah talked about it a bit, in a match set of companies between last year and this year, there was a 3% increase from, a match set of companies from 2021 to this last survey. There was a 3% increase, but we will get the data to them and we'll make sure everybody's on the same page on what's going on. So let's turn things over to Terez.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Terez Henderson from CECP. Work on the Corporate Insights team. I'm glad everyone can make it in today. I know it's like terrible outside this morning, so that's good to see, and hope you've enjoyed some of these past few days. So today I'll go over employee engagement trends we are seeing, and afterwards, like if you have any questions on any of the data you've seen, feel free to stop me in the hallway to ask me any questions. Like, I would love to answer them. Like, I don't bite, I promise. So yes. So first, the first slide here, we're seeing overall that employee engagement has hit an 11-year low, especially amongst the youngest workers and those who work hybrid as well as remote. In a recent survey from Gallup, in a recent survey from Gallup, where are we at? In a recent survey from Gallup, 30% of employees have been highly engaged, while 17% are actively disengaged. That's nearly a 2-to-1 ratio using the data, and so going forward, we're more, trying to get those percentages up. So I'll go to the next slide here. And next I'll speak on volunteering. Yep. Sorry about that. And this slide here, we'll talk about median volunteered hours by employee tier per thousands in 2023. As we can see in 2023, amongst all companies, the volunteer hours were 45,000. In the top quartile amongst all companies were 119,000 hours per all companies. Yep. And after that, you can see on the right side of the slide, the higher the number of the employees, the higher basically the higher the hours. So you can see that basically, like, the bigger the company, the more hours those companies can basically give the employees to put out. So yes. And next, once again, continuing with the median volunteer hours, we can see that from 2021 to 2023, there's been a 65% increase in volunteer hours. Yeah. And as the data can show, as well as the match set of data, where are we at? I'm sorry. Oops. Sorry, 1 second here. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, but and the reason for this year-over-year increase can be because of employees becoming more re-engaged in volunteering programs such as skill-based volunteering. So these numbers shall go up as the years go on. So I'm sure next year you can see probably a higher increase than 72% that we had in 2023. Yep. And next we'll talk about volunteering programs. On the orange is international, and the blue is domestic participation. Yep. And what this data here shows, company-wide day of service has increased by 11% year over year, while virtual volunteering is down 4% year over year. We can attribute virtual volunteering going down 4% year over year to basically employees, going back to the office. So these numbers probably will continue to go down year over year as more employees continue to return to office. And continuing with the volunteer participation rate, in 2023, amongst all companies, the average volunteer rate was 23%. And as you can see on the right side of the slide, the lower the employee tier, the more participation. Between the 30 and 50,000 employee threshold, like after that, you can see like basically the employee participation rate goes down, and we can attribute this to the lower the employee tier, the more the smaller the footprint, the more the company can be seen, like with the employees, so it's easier to reach them. But the bigger companies, with the bigger companies, it may be harder to reach employees to participate. So that's what these numbers may be showing. And once again, continuing with the average volunteer participation rate, from 2021 to 2023, we've seen a 49% increase. As you can see, in 2021, we were at 15.4%, and in 2023, we're at 22.9%. And this can be attributed to companies making an effort with programs they're offering. And once again, going back to the skill-based volunteering programs, those companies offering, programs where, their employees, are more skilled in, the participation rate will continue to go up as well, because once again, the data shows a lot of companies are starting to offer skill-based volunteering programs, and so employees are more inclined to participate in those programs. They have basically more geared towards to participate in, because they show more love to those programs basically. So yes. And continuing, sorry with that. Yep. And now I'll talk about matching gifts. And this slide here shows the median matching gifts by total cash community investment tiers in 2023. As we can see on the left of the screen, in 2023, amongst all companies, 1.6 million was the median. And as we can see on the right, of the right of the screen, we can see the investment tier from over 100 million to from 5 to 10 million. And we can also see that the larger the allocation for the matching gift given, basically the larger the number is. Companies with a higher community investment tend to give more. That's what those numbers show. Yep. And continuing with the matching gifts data, we can see from 2021 to 2023, there was a less than 1% change. This can be contributed to matching gifts having plateaued over the past 3 years. Yep. And also can be attributed to matching gifts not being a huge driver in employee engagement. It can basically go back to speaking on the deep prioritization of matching gifts. Maybe over the past 20 years, the matching gifts data has been very stagnant. It hasn't risen high or fallen low. It's just been basically the same course. So this data will probably continue to stay the same as well over the next coming years. And continuing with the matching gifts trends, this slide here shows the yearly matching gifts per employees, as well as the percentage of total cash community investment. As we can see, the yearly matching gift in 2023 per employees was $63. Was a modest $67, while the top quartile was on the higher end at $163. Excuse me. We can also see that the matching gifts as a percentage of total cash investment was at nearly 11%, while the top quartile, While the top quartile represented 1/5 of matching gifts as a total percentage of total cash community investment. We will likely see these numbers go up once again with the programs going up. And so, and also with the participation rate going up, so these numbers will likely continue to go up in the upcoming years. And once again, continuing with the matching gift programs, participation. Sorry about that. Yep, year over year, we've seen all of these categories go up. Year-round policy, dollars for doers, workplace giving, as well as disaster relief go up year over year. From 2022 to 2023, dollars for doers has seen an 11% increase. And basically, with companies increasing their offering to employees with different programs, like dollars for doers, these numbers will continue to go up as well. The only one, I'll speak on it on the next slide, is disaster relief. That one may go down on in the upcoming years, but once again, I'll speak on that in the upcoming slides. And there we go. Yep. And this slide here shows the matching gift allocations. As we can see on the left, the year-round policy was at 65%. We're basically having the biggest chunk of the pie, while disaster relief was the smallest at 3%. Yep. And we can attribute that disaster relief being low perhaps to donor fatigue, both nationally and internationally. And like that's why I was saying, like on the previous slide, these numbers like might go down for disaster relief because once again of donors fatigue. And as you can see on the right, we're showing the median matching gifts by program type. And as you can see, the year-round policy offered the highest, while disaster relief was at the lowest at 155,000. Yep. And next, we will go to average matching gift participation rate. As we can see in 2023, the average matching gift participation rate was at 20.5% among all companies. As we can see on the right, similar to the slides before in the deck, the lower the number of employees in the company, the higher participation rate. But once we basically hit like the 20 to 30,000% threshold, the numbers go down drastically, nearly 7%. And basically this can be too, once again as well, the smaller companies having a smaller footprint, it's easier to reach their employees, while the bigger companies, basically having a bigger footprint, is like, it's more difficult to like reach those companies, so. Yes. Yep. Yep. And lastly, I'll speak on the average matching gift participation rate year over year from 2021 to 2023. In those years, we've seen a 4% change. A 0.04% change, not a 4% change, sorry about that. We've seen a 0.04% change year over year. And basically, that can speak to the data I shared earlier about matching gift plateauing. Like I said before, over the past 20 years, there haven't been, a big increase or, a significant decrease. Has been basically stagnant for the past 20 years. So it speaks on, again, the deprioritization of matching gift, basically. And yes, thank you for your time. And once again, if you have any questions, I'll be in the hallway, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have from the data. So thank you.